put chains on him. You can't hold a man by trying to stake a claim on him. You can't hold a man by sneaking and peeping on him. You can't hold a man trying to stake a claim on him. You can't hold a man by putting chains on him. You can't hold a man. You ain't gonna hold your man. You can't hold a man. Let your man be free. You can't hold a man.
All right, Terrell, I'm hoping that rebooting will fix this. Can you hear me okay? Terrell? Okay. Did we lose him? That's not, did we lose it? We need him to, oh my God.
Yeah. Here, do you have the Zoom info like ready to send someone, Lola? No. Okay, well, how do I send this to you guys? 'Cause I've never had
Is he back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm hoping that rebooting the system will have fixed the problem. And you can hear me okay, right?
I hear you okay. I went out and came back in just in case.
Okay, good. I think we're okay. Let's come back. Yeah, let's come back. Okay.
we're gonna see.
I don't hear anything, so.
That's what I think too. Can you hear their thing?
I can't hear. I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything in my headphones. Okay, but how?
Well, you're going on 2, 1.
Are we back?
Yep.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis. You know, this is live radio and things tend to happen in the technical world. So I'm hoping that we got everything fixed. I know Terrell is with us and he's still with us. And now I'm hearing the commercials. You can take all that out. So anyway, Terrell, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Once again, I really appreciate you being here.
Hey, man, I'm excited to be here. As I was saying, I've been thinking about this all day, so I'm ready.
Well, absolutely that, man. And listen, first of all, thank you for what you do for our community. Thank you for what you do to try to help, bring folks together with your efforts at your church, One Accord International. And we're going to talk about the grand opening for the athletic facility in just a few minutes. But I want to spend a couple of minutes talking to you about, as someone who is in an area where we have seen, an influx of crime. Of course, we've seen it all over Memphis, but your church is in the Parkway Village area. And I know that is of a special concern to you. When you see what you see on a daily basis, when you hear another life taken, when you hear, another tragic situation that has occurred, as a pastor, what do you think about?
Yeah, what it does for me is I'm actually at a fresh place because we end up buying the old Salvation Army building and we're renovating it. And I will constantly hear about all these shootings, all these carjackings in the Parkway Village area. Then I thought about it, wait a minute, the building we just bought is in the Parkway Village area. Mm-hmm. And so while everybody else got concerned, I got excited. Because, I grew up in South Memphis in the Bells Apartments, and I understand that one new thought can change your whole life. And so with me being a creative myself, doing music videos, stage plays, I just feel like using arts, entertainment, and sports, you can help spark that new thought that could change somebody else's life. And all it takes is a few that believe can make it hit the other people. So when I hear it going on, I just say, what can I do to inject that new thought that can start a culture change?
When you speak to your congregants, on Sundays, and you think about the messages that you are trying to deliver, what you just said there was very, very important. And it really only takes a few to sort of light the fuse, if you will, to be the catalyst for change, which sounds like exactly what you're talking about. Talk about that a little bit more, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, everybody that comes to my church, because I personally meet with every new visitor. So if you've been in the church, 95% of the people, you heard me say, I believe that the gift God gave me, the reason I was put on this earth is to wake up the dreams and passion inside of other people. And see, when you get a vision for your own life, you know how to pick the right friends to go in your life. You know how to make the right decisions in your life. Most people make bad decisions because they don't have a vision for their life. And I don't care how much you try to tell them what's right, they'll fight it until they see something they want for themselves. Because that's what happened to me. When I was on the streets in Atlanta, I started doing Madden tournaments and 3-on-3 basketball tournaments. And when I just wanted to create a positive environment, but when they were coming for the sports, they were coming for the video games, wanting to be a part of that, made them discipline themselves so they could be a part of it. So my whole thing is, when you find your vision, your passion, your purpose, it'll help you discipline your whole life. And when you find yours, you can help other people find theirs.
We are speaking with Terrell Monger. He's the senior pastor of One Accord International Church. And, we were talking, a little bit earlier about this building that you bought and, what you are hoping to achieve by you having a grand opening on Saturday. Tell folks what they can expect in terms of this new facility.
Yeah, you're going to expect, number one, open doors. Most people get a Family Life Center, and it's just a building to have. Well, we've already invited several leagues around the city to play in our facility, so we can invite some of the people out in the community to be a part of it, get some of the young cats, the young women, the young men to come be a part of the league, because in our facility, we focus on character. You won't see coaches cussing out the referees and cussing out the players. And if you do see them, you're going to see them getting escorted out. You're going to hear music that's nice, it's bumping, but it's going to have messages that are positively influenced. And so if you create the right atmosphere and people stay in it long enough, they can take that positive atmosphere back to their homes. So that's what we want to do with this facility. Allow them to do what they love, but create a culture and atmosphere that help them change their view of life so they can take it back to their families.
Was that the specific reason you decided to open up this facility? I mean, there's always a spark that starts these ideas. Was what you just talked about, was that the originating thought in terms of behind this?
Absolutely, because I didn't even intend to get into ministry. I started out having video game tournaments. And I told people, hey, man, you can't cuss if you're going to play this, man. And once, you whoop somebody up in Madden, they'll respect you. So since I was whooping everybody up, I won their respect. And when I won their respect, they started to want to emulate the lifestyle I was trying to live. And when a Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter wrote an article about me in a newspaper, they said this young guy's out there doing street ministry. I wasn't doing street ministry. I was just creating a positive environment for kids to go into. Well, it grew so big, we started doing 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, and people started trying to see how can I train their youth ministry, their leadership team, their outreach team. And next thing you know, I was considered a minister because what I was doing was changing people.
This is how positive change gets started. And before I let you go, and before I let you give all of the contact information and the who, what, where, is this something that you hope will take off? Well, I'll just ask that question. I mean, what are you hoping to achieve? Obviously, besides, there's a refuge there, there's a place there that people can go to express their creative talents and their abilities. But I mean, is this just the beginning for you? Do you have a vision outside of even this facility to do more?
Yeah, well, two things. You asked me two questions. I'm going to answer both of them.
Okay.
I see this doing what it has done for so many other people who could afford it. So I'm not new to what I'm doing. I just have been in environments where I worked in corporate America helping people. I've been around people who had access to things like this. Now I get the opportunity to let people who can't afford it get access to the language, the culture, the understanding that they need so they can navigate through life. See, some of the things that I've been able to coach and teach people, they get great jobs because of it. They start businesses because of it. But the people who really need it can't afford it. So my goal is to create an atmosphere where they can come get it and live up to it and create a life for themselves so they can see why things like this are important and they can help me spread it.
Well, I tell you what, before we go, give all of the listeners the information, the who, what, when, where of the facility and the event this weekend.
All right. It's at 4741 Winchester Road. It starts Saturday, the 26th, and it's going to be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come early so you can get a t-shirt. You might even get a Grizzly basketball. You might even get a freeze cup. I don't know. Just come out and enjoy the moment so we can have a good time. 4741 Winchester Road, 3 p.m., the 26th, Saturday. Come on out.
The name of the facility is what now?
One Glory Athletic Association.
Well, I like that. One Glory Athletic Association. And
look, the reason behind it is I call it One Glory because everybody deserves a chance to see how it feels to win. Whether it's in life, on the court, with a woman, whatever, you get the taste of that first win, it'll make up for all the losses. So get in the atmosphere so you can see how I feel to win.
Man, I tell you, you got me all revved up now. I'm all psyched up and ready to go. You know, I'm glad we worked out our technical kinks, and I'm glad we got you on a serious note because what you're doing is so desperately needed in our community. And I hope that others, you know, outside of what it is that you're doing, follow your lead, and hopefully, you know, we can start to see some more positive and do a lot less talking about negative. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And thank you for coming on this show. And, you know, you can come back here anytime, man. And you got me all psyched up. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there listening that's psyched up as well. So all the best to you, man. And anything we can do to help promote anything positive that you're doing, we're always here.
Thank you, man. I wake up like this, so whenever, it's whatever.
Thank you, man. You have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, man.
Yeah. Wow, that was, now see, you know, that was worth the wait. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you didn't hear me get too frantic earlier. We were just trying to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? Like I said, when you're dealing with Zoom and technical stuff, these things happen. But anyway, we're on the right track and we're off to a great start. So we're going to take our second break. And when we come back, we're going to delve into the history, this Black American history. This is the month that we celebrate and commemorate the good in our society by folks that look a lot like me. So we're going to take our second break. This is Real Talk Memphis. When we come back, Dr. Russell Wiggington of the National Civil Rights Museum will join me. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Russ, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great.
Well, listen, we are in commercial break, and when we come back, you and I are going to chat a little bit about Black History Month and what's going on at the museum and a couple of special exhibits that you have. So just stand by, okay?
Sounds great, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
The Brooks is open in Overton Park, home to Memphis art collection since 1916. The Memphis Brooks Museum of Art holds the largest collection of world art in the region, with more than 10,000 works spanning 5,000 years of art and cultures. Remember, every Wednesday is free and open until 8 p.m. They are a proud sponsor of WYXR. For more information about the museum and their exhibitions, visit brooksmuseum.org. You belong at the Brooks.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday. So happy to have you with us. And I got to do a little roll call here because there's a lot of folks watching us tonight. Herman Bird is watching. I see you out there, Herman. Randy P. Leslie is watching. Lidell Cheshire. That's my cousin. He's out there watching as well. That's Dale. He's checking us out on the West Coast in Las Vegas, Nevada, by the way. Audrey Hill is on with us. Diane Towns. Gerard Walker. Yeah, so far so good. Let me see here. That's Janice Chestnut. Good evening to you. So formal. Good evening, Chip Washington. How you doing? Ethel used to be the longtime assignment editor at WREG. It's News Channel 3 for a long time. She's retired now and enjoying herself. Cousin Kizzy is watching. Bishop Bob Midget and Patricia Rogers, Shirley Aguilera Logan. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you all. I see you. I appreciate you. Our next guest is a man that is at the helm of history, I like to say. He is the current president of the National Civil Rights Museum. This is Black History Month, of course, that we celebrate the accomplishments of so many. And I'm very happy to have again on the show Russell Wiggington, Dr. Russell Wiggington. He is the president, as I said, of the National Civil Rights Museum. And Dr. Russ, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you.
My pleasure, Chip. So excited to be here today.
So listen, as we roll our way through the month of February, this Black History Month, there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot to commemorate, of course. And whenever I think about that, I think about the National Civil Rights Museum, as the home base for all of this. So can you kind of give us a preview of what's going on during this special month of recognition?
Absolutely, Chip. And, the importance of Black History Month resonates at the museum. We have tremendous attendance, great support throughout the community, and we have a special exhibit highlighting some of the pioneers, the African-American pioneers coming from Alsace St. Jude currently at the museum, which is a moment of pride for us and a moment of pride for them.
Absolutely that. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I know that there are three individuals in particular that you are highlighting. St. Jude is celebrating its 60th anniversary, and the individuals that you are highlighting, had a place in history, there. Tell us a little bit about what folks can expect.
Sure. So when you think about the importance of architecture and its longevity in our community, a lot of times African-American great architects have been overlooked, and to have Paul Williams, who developed that signature look of St. Jude as one of the prominent people highlighted, and then to have Dr. Jackson, who, if you think about it, 60 years ago, having a physician who a career and a
I think we froze.
I think I lost you.
I got you back.
Okay.
Okay.
But just talking about Dr. Jackson and the role of physicians in that profession, the important role when you're thinking about health equity, his presence at St. Jude 60 years ago, what that meant for African Americans, what that meant as a moment of pride, what that meant about the legitimacy of cancer like sickle cell and other diseases. Mm-hmm. It's just really profound that happened here in Memphis. And it's something we should lift up throughout the year, not just Black History Month, but we are so proud to be in partnership with Alsace St. Jude on that effort. I hope it's an inspiration for young people today to think about the difference they can make and the importance of doing your best academically, being committed to the community, and making a difference in the world.
That is a very, very, very good thought that you just expressed, because I think for a lot of folks, a lot of the people that you all represent, are trailblazers. And the doctor you mentioned, Dr. Williams, a minute ago, this happened in 1968 during the sanitation strike and a lot of other, very hot button issues that were going on here in Memphis at that particular time. St. Jude has always been a place where, race clearly was not an issue. It wasn't an issue back then, and that continues today. Their mission, of course, is to saving lives. Finding cures, saving children is their mission statement. And of course, to have these individuals so prominent in that has to be a sense of pride. And of course, I did read some articles in reference to the exhibit, and just how happy and I think gratified St. Jude was to be a partnership with your museum. Am I correct in that?
That yes, and that works both ways. I think of both of our organizations as having clearly an important place in this community. But if you look throughout the nation and throughout the world, we're two of the institutions that point back and lift up Memphis on our best day. And when you think about working together, it's a pretty powerful combination. We don't often enough lift up the greatness and the richness in our community. I also think it's really important because of the health inequities that are being talked about in this country today. Certainly the pandemic is connected to that. It's highlighting those health inequities. And when we can partner with Alsac St. Jude in this effort, it shows that it can be done. People can have, regardless of income, regardless of race, people can have and deserve decent health care. And so this is a precursor, if you will, for an area that we will be emphasizing at the museum, which is health equity.
That's big. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Dr. Russell Wiggington. He is the president of the National Civil Rights Museum here in Memphis. As we are talking about Black History Month, and what you said had a lot of power to it in terms of recognizing these individuals at an organization that is totally committed to saving lives and finding cures, and to be a part of that and to be associated, as you said, with the history, of not only this city, it lifts up this city, and again, it could serve as a launching pad for a lot of young people today who see this story, who hear this story, who may come to see the exhibit and say to themselves, man, if they could do it, I could do it too, which is what you just said. That could be a real building block, could it not?
I think so. And the power of thinking about 60 years ago when segregation was the norm.
Right.
And one of the areas that segregation, where it came out the most, if you will, where it was emphasized the most, is healthcare disparity. And the fact that in many communities, including our own, who could be treated was based on race. For Alsac St. Jude to overlook that and say, not only can you be treated here, but we have an African-American physician here who is doing important research and important work, serves as a model, serves as a guide. We still have a lot to learn from some of our history, warts and all, the troubling spots and all, but ultimately thinking about how do we take the best of all aspects of our community and merge it for the benefit of the greater good. That's one of the reasons we're so excited about this exhibit. And it just dovetails beautifully with our human and civil rights and social justice focus at the museum. I couldn't be more proud to be in partnership with them. I think it has an opportunity to flourish beyond just this month.
Sure.
The exhibit will be up through March 8th, so I encourage people to come to the museum to see it. And while you're there, check out the other 400 years of history that's grounded in this country, where African Americans and others had the courage and conviction to make our society the best that it can be. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're committed to being part of the solution, both locally and beyond.
Absolutely that. And I could not think of a better way to end the interview. You said, of course, this exhibit is going to be with you all to March 8th. And I would encourage everybody to go down and see what real history and the positive works that both these entities are involved in is really doing to better us all. Dr. Russell Wiggington, thank you so much, sir, for taking time out of your schedule. I know how busy you are, for coming on Real Talk again, and I hope to have you back on again down the road in the future. In between that time, all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. You do a great job. I enjoy listening to your show, and you know where to find me if you want to.
Thank you. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Take care. All right, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Well, that was a great interview, and it really does speak to where we are as a society and how much we've grown. And the fact that St. Jude didn't let race have influenced them at all in terms of back 60 years ago when they were trying to continue to develop cures for cancer and other things, sickle cell, and to have these doctors in. It wasn't about skin color. It was about what can you do to help save our population. And that's what it's all about. Kudos and congratulations to St. Jude and the National Civil Rights Museum. One final break. When we come back, we're going to delve into the world of education with my friend, Miss Karen Vogelsang. She's going to talk to us about the importance of reading literacy of our young folks. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm going to try to get my mouth fixed during this commercial break. So when we come back, I will sound a bit smoother. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Hey, Karen, I'm sorry. Are you? It's Chip. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Listen, we're in commercial break. It's going to be a quick one. Then I'm coming right to you. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Stand by.
Thanks.
7 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more information on their Instagram page at Memphis Listening Lab or on their website at memphislisteninglab.org. Brought to you by Crosstown Concourse, offering brand new musical experiences like concerts, live score film screenings, record release parties, weekly music pop-ups, and so much more. For more information, visit crosstownconcourse.com/visit.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip with you. I'm glad you are along for the ride. I see a couple more folks on here. Patricia A. Rogers. I've been getting Patricia. I've been asking her to listen to this show for the longest time, and she tuned in tonight. So good to see you. And I see Steve Knight is on here as well. So thank you all. Thank you all. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate my next guest. She is committed to making sure that our young people have a good foundation in terms of their reading skills. And she has been a guest on our show before, and I'm glad to have her back. Karen Vogelsang is the executive director of Arise to Read. And Karen, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be on here, Chip. How are you and your wife doing? That's the first question I want to ask.
We're doing fine. Thank you.
Awesome.
Everybody's doing well. And thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So I'm glad to have you back on the show and, talk a little bit about Rise to Read and what you guys are up to. But what caught my attention is that you were plucked from Memphis to head to Athens, Georgia to be the keynote speaker for a conference. Tell us a little bit about that and what was said and what was gained.
Yeah. So pre-COVID, Chip, there is a nonprofit there called Downtown Ministries, and they reached out to Arise to Read pre-COVID because they wanted to bring the Arise to Read program to one of their inner city schools there, where the reading proficiency rate was very low, somewhat similar to the reading proficiency rate here in Memphis for third graders. And they got the Arise to Read program started in one of their schools, and then of course COVID hit and everything came to a screeching halt. One of the exciting things that happened in Athens last summer was a different company that's very socially minded wanted to bring together all of, they wanted to fill the conference room with people from higher ed. They wanted to fill folks from the nonprofit world, business world, regular, K-12, secondary education. They wanted to bring everybody to the table and say, okay, as a community, what are we going to focus on? And they decided that they were going to focus on third grade reading proficiency, and that they were going to basically put all their energy into supporting kids so that when they got to third grade, they were going to be reading proficiently. And so they reached out to me back in December, and the president of the chamber said, hey, we've heard all about Arise to Read. We've heard all about you. We've heard about the great work going on in Memphis. Could you come to Athens and be our keynote speaker? And I about fell out of my chair. But I did. I went to Athens last week. I had an opportunity to speak with basically 420 business people because that's the key here, Chip. The business community has got to lock arms with the education community if we're really going to make a difference for children in our communities, because the pandemic has hit our children, especially our children at risk for reading failure, very hard.
Yeah, you've always talked about partnership. The partnership is really what creates this successful program. We're having a little trouble with your audio there. Hopefully, things are. I don't know if it's a mic thing or whatever it is. But,
right.
Yeah, but anyway, that's amazing. That good news travels fast, clearly, and wanting to know about this now. There's something about that third grade level, and I know we talked about that before. Talk about why that level is so important to really start to ratchet up, the skills of our children.
Well, the bottom line is research has shown that there's an incredible connection between third grade reading proficiency and high school graduation. For example, 66%, we're talking 2 out of 3 fourth graders who are not reading on grade level by the time they leave the fourth grade.
Wow.
They're likely going to require government assistance, or they're going to end up being incarcerated. And so we can't wait until children are in 4th or 5th grade, certainly can't wait until they're in middle or high school to address those reading deficiencies that they have. And we know that when children who are reading on grade level by the end of 3rd grade, they've got an 89% graduation rate. And that's the same for children coming from middle income families. So it's critically important that our children have the foundational literacy skills that they need. Chip, let's face it, you're stuck in life if you can't read.
True, very true. We are speaking with Karen Vogelsang. She is the executive director of Arise to Read, a wonderful program here in the city. And last time you and I chatted, we were like in the midst of COVID, and you were trying to navigate, teaching young people in various remote ways and the difficulties that surrounded that. How did you end up maneuvering through that? And now you're seeing a bit of daylight and getting back to the programmatics that you were pre-COVID, I would imagine.
Yeah. It was amazing. God opened doors that we never imagined would be open. And we had about 300 of our 1,200 plus volunteers that were willing to serve in the virtual learning hub sites that were located throughout the city. And so we were able to serve, it was kind of a revolving door because, some sites were open and then they were closed, but we served between 150, 300 students. And we were serving children from kindergarten to high school. If they were not on grade level, according to our pre-test, we prioritized them for support. And so we had volunteers willing to go into these different sites. And one of the exciting things that happened with that, Chip, is it created new partnerships. We've got a partnership with Memphis Athletic Ministries now. And they are doing the Arise to Read program after school with children besides just children in 2nd grade. It also created an opportunity for us to work with Red Door Urban Missions in the Whitehaven area. We're doing an after-school Bible club there. We supported them with Arise to Read. We're continuing that partnership, doing different things over the summer to promote literacy and work with the parents and whatnot. So the pandemic was definitely a very challenging time, but it definitely opened new doors for us to serve children in different places and in different grades. But now that school's back, all 41 of our schools pre-COVID wanted us back in their schools. Our challenge was a lot of volunteers, most of our volunteers are retirees. They were not comfortable going back in school. So right now we're working with about 550 volunteers, 550 students, because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, most effective intervention.
Right.
And so now the challenge is, we want to get back in all 41 of those schools, and we're going to need volunteers. We need the Memphis business community to step up and really lock arms with whether it's a Rise to Read or another literacy organization to support children in our communities.
I would imagine that for a lot of people who volunteer, to work with you and your team, that there has to be such gratification and validation when you see a child start from a certain level, a lower level, and after you've been working with them for some period of time, just seeing them bloom and blossom. I would imagine there's nothing better than that, ever. I would imagine.
That's what keeps our volunteers coming back. We've got pre-COVID, we had over an 85% retention rate, and our volunteers would come back and they would be with 2 different students. The power of the program, number one, is our volunteers' commitment to their students. The volunteers are working with the same 2 students throughout the school year. And so when those kids walk in the room and they see their volunteers, their faces just light up. Yeah. And then they see their progress, and the volunteers can see the impact, which this is another reason that makes a Rise to Read so powerful, is that both the child and the volunteer are seeing the impact of the time that they're spending with one another. And as one of my friends said, who's assistant principal at a Memphis Shelby County school, she said, yeah, the academics are great, but the social emotional benefit for the children, for many children, is even more powerful than the academics. And so, yeah, they keep coming back, and we could not do this work without our amazing volunteers. And they do make a very powerful difference for the children that they're serving.
It sounds like your program is almost becoming a pilot, really kind of a standard, a national standard reading program. I mean, given the fact that they knew all about you when you took your trip to Georgia, and you got a chance to really interface with so many in the community that are vital to the success of what it is you do on a daily basis. But could this be a pilot program, you think? Or is it?
So first off, to answer one part of your question, pre-COVID, Rise to Read was serving with almost 57 other schools in 11 other states throughout the country. And it's actually being used by 3 different schools in Africa, in Kenya, Uganda, and Malawi. So yeah, it's
international. Yeah.
Yeah, international. And 2 years ago, in 2020, I was supposed to go to Oxford University and speak at the International Literacy Association about a Rise to Read and the importance of foundational literacy skills. But I think the exciting thing for me about Athens is how they have come together as a community and brought everybody to the table and said, together, what are we going to focus on? And this was the agreement that they made to commit the next 3 years to focusing on 3rd grade literacy. Because if we can get kids reading on grade level by the time they leave 3rd grade, you're looking at 75% of crimes in the United States are committed by high school dropouts. 85% of juvenile offenders are struggling readers. I have no doubt about that. When I was teaching at Keystone, we had to call the gang unit out on 2 of our 2nd graders because the gangs were already bringing the boys into the fold. So we've got to tackle this problem early on. And so that's what's so exciting about what's happening in Athens. And our founder, Donnie Gaines, said the same thing that you're saying, Chip. I think this could be a pilot for other communities.
And no doubt. Well, listen, Karen, thank you. I got to run, but thank you so much for coming on the show. Chip. And thank you for what you do on a daily basis to help to improve. You're improving lives, and I mean, you're making things a lot better for a lot of other folks that are coming up as well. So, and you're always welcome on this show. So anytime we can help you promote anything that you're doing, you know how to reach me, and I know how to reach you.
This summer, because when we have our kickoff in August, I'm looking for that auditorium to be filled up with 2,000 folks interested in serving children of our city to make it better. For exactly what you're saying, for all of us in Shelby County.
That is a deal. Karen Vogelsang, thank you so much for coming on Real Talk. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. You too. All right.
Bye.
Well, that was a great show. I really enjoy talking to people who are truly trying to make a difference in improving their lives. And as Jack plays us out, Yeah, this has been a good broadcast tonight. You know, I always think about that when I'm trying to put guests together and shows together, but I think that we accomplished our mission tonight. I see all of you out there who tuned us in tonight, and that's gratifying. It's gratifying, and I hope that this is not a one-time thing. I hope that you come back every week. I hope that we provide enough content and input, and information that will bring you back to the fold and make Real Talk Memphis a real show in the city that has some legs and has some standing, and a must see, a must listen to program. Very, very grateful for all of you. And the Lord says so. We'll be back here, same time, same station, and we'll try to do it a little bit better. But of course, we can't grow without you. So I appreciate you. So for Lola, for Nicole, and my man Jack, I'm Chip, and I'm out.